A few days ago, I uploaded a video saying our Google Advert campaign was finally ready to go. The keywords were perfect, the campaign was fully built, everything was looking alright. There was single small mistake led to another, and I was rebuilding the whole advertising strategy for the webinar. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Areta. I run a digital marketing agency, and I'm currently working on an international webinar, which is no joke. My role is the most critical part of the success of this webinar, which is bringing people to register for the webinar successfully. So that word successfully is the one that's going to take us into the journey of this whole video I'm making tonight at 2 a.m. At first, I did what I felt like everybody does. Copy the Zoom registration link, create a campaign on Google, put the link as the final URL, so whenever anybody clicks on the advert, it will take them to Zoom. The headline was good. I added the headline, I added the keyword, I added the ad sets. Ad sets means pictures, videos, what people see, like what your advert is basically, that's what is called an ad set. And I thought everything was fine. And I published the campaign, or at least that's what I thought. So almost immediately it was saying Google tag missing, conversion cannot be tracked. So I was like, what's going on? I refreshed the page, showing the same thing over and over again. At some point, I genuinely thought the advert was broken. So after spending hours looking into it, I finally found a problem. The Google tag was correctly installed on our website, but the final URL where people go to is the Zoom where we are hosting the webinar. So we can put our Google tag on Zoom. So it can't track any of our data. The problem was the advert was not taking people to our website. It was taking people directly to Zoom. And Google cannot measure the activities going on Zoom because Zoom is not our own website. So instead of forcing Google to track Zoom, we changed the flow entirely. So we told the web team to build a landing page on the website. So now the journey is going to look like Google Ad to landing page to Zoom registration page, and they're submitting that information. So that actually worked to our own advantage because it solved two major problems also. One, it allowed Google to track properly. And number two, it gave people more comprehensive details about the webinar, because on the landing page, you can fit all of the information about the webinar, which will convince them more to sign up for it. Honestly, looking back at it, I kind of think it's a better user experience for all of the people signing up anyways. So I was glad that thing came up, so I was able to solve that problem. So you thought I was done, right? At this point, I was thinking finally everything was working, the landing page is live, the Google tag is active, campaign was running, then I checked the analytics. So that takes us to the second mistake. Over 90 people have visited the registration page on Zoom, but nobody registered. Because genuinely, the first issue was us not being able to track people that signed up. It was not that the ad was not active. It was active, but we don't have data of people that have signed up at that point in time. So when I saw that on Zoom, I saw over 90 people that visited the page. That didn't make sense. Why would 90 people visit this page and nobody will sign up for the webinar? So I was digging for hours. I was trying to figure out what actually is the problem, because I discovered something I completely missed, or something I felt would help us. The Zoom registration page only allows people who are signed into Zoom at that point in time to sign up for the webinar. Meaning, since I was operating everything on the PC, I have a Zoom tab opened. So anytime I want to test the link to the webinar registration, I'm just going to copy the link and open a tab. So it's going to allow me to complete the sign up because I already have a Zoom tab open prior to this new one I was opening to test the link. So I didn't know that it was only those people that are allowed to sign up for the webinar. So in my mind, I thought everything was functioning great. So for an average user that is probably in Texas on his phone, it's not going to work because most of the time they are not signed in on Zoom at that point in time. You understand? So that eliminated 90% of the people that could have signed up for the webinar on the registration page. That is an embarrassing part. To this level of professionalism, I don't think I should be creating those kind of critical mistakes anymore, you know. But you're wondering, how did I make this kind of mistake? When I was creating the webinar event, I saw this feature allow people who are on Zoom to sign up for the webinar, something along that line. But I was thinking, this event is only on Zoom, but if I now take allow people who are already on Zoom to sign up for the webinar. Is it not the same thing? I picked it, not knowing, allowing people that are signing on Zoom at that point in time. Imagine, at that point in time. So you should be very careful of you creating something, because at the end of the day, the link was sent over to some marketers. Nobody got back to us that, oh, this is wrong. Nobody. I'm taking full responsibility, obviously, but I was not aware of the situation. The only way I discovered it was because I was testing, I regularly test it. But at that point in time, I was testing it again. I was not with my laptop. I was transferring to a brand new laptop. So I was like, instead of me trying to like sign in, trying to look for the link and all that, let me just use my phone. And I used my phone and I see that, oh, it's saying I cannot sign up, something like that. I was like, what is wrong? Then I asked my chat and it told me this is exactly what we did wrong with the registration. I was so surprised. We have a lot of people, a lot of, well, it's a lot on me at that point in time. I was so embarrassed with what I saw, honestly speaking. So we fixed everything with Zoom. We rebuilt the whole flow. So I went back to Google after I've rebuilt the whole Zoom webinar. I've edited everything, and I found out something interesting in the Google Ads data manager, the data manager particularly. I saw the list of, since the tag is installed on the website, right? You're going to see the list of like URLs you have on that website, like maybe URL to this event on the same website, URL to this, like the whole URL. If you understand, if you understand what I'm trying to say, the whole URLs of your website, you're going to see there. But I didn't find this particular URL for the event. So I now added the URL. So imagine I was not doing another series of check. I would have believed that, oh, okay, since the tag is installed and the problem was Zoom again, like, and the problem is no longer Google, it was Zoom. And since Zoom has been dealt with, we have no problem. And I ignored it. I could have wasted money again because it's still going to be showing tag not available or tag not installed. I'm not sure because the tag was installed on the website majorly. You understand? But what I was happy for, and what my point is that I'm able to add that particular URL that will take them to the landing page itself. So we have Google Tag installed on all of the URLs in the same website. So basically, everything is finally working together. So now this is what the whole updated sequence now looks like. The potential participant of the webinar sees the advert on Google, clicks on the advert, it takes him to the website, the NCDF website, our website. He clicks on register, or he proofreads all the information on the website, then proceeds to click on register. Then it takes him to the Zoom registration page. Then he completes his registration. So, and I feel like that is the best journey, user experience journey you could ever have. And that problem made me realize that, oh, problems are not sometimes obstacles to stop something from working. It's just to stop it for you to see the bigger picture of it. Because our thought was that if you think if the Google tag showed, or we never had issue with Google tag, we would create a landing page. No, we wouldn't. But that issue made everything better and made us create a proper system in place. So that experience probably gave me something that experience reminded me of something I would probably take, not probably, I would always take into every businesses I build. Never test your product yourself. Test it the exact way your customers would test it. Because basically you are building it, you already know how everything works. Your customer doesn't. Sometimes only tiny assumptions can cost you a lot, like it cost me $20. That's obviously a joke, but to be serious, it can cost you a lot. It can cost sales, massive sales, because you don't know, maybe the particular customer you missed is the one that's going to maybe buy out your business eventually. It can cost you registration, like me. It can cost you a lot of things you never expect. So, and thankfully, we saw the issue before scaling the campaign, and that's one of the reasons I'm also grateful for being able to solve this. That is the main purpose of this channel at the end of the day. It's just to document, to fail, to try again. That is exactly why I'm documenting this journey. Not because everything goes perfectly right, but because mistakes are part of what builds something real and something that will last over a long period of time. I'm happy to have this opportunity to be able to learn from failures and to build something bigger and better from it. Next, we'll be moving to MetaHard. There's a lot of stories that will be told on MetaHards also. Hopefully, we make fewer mistake or no mistake. Let's see how it goes. But if I make any, you obviously know you'll see a video about it before anyone does. If you're interested in more videos like this, my name is Areta. Make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.